Yes, top of the morning. You know the vibes. This is the Source Experience. The news by Shanewz. So, 2 for 1 special this morning, right? Most likely I won't be going live this evening or this afternoon. We got Call of Duty. Another storm is bearing down on us. So with that being said, I will be occupied doing other activities. But I did want to come on and touch on this hot topic. Uh, you see, Haney versus Lopez, Lopez versus Haney. Social media wars, right? Social media wars. Now, I think a lot of times when it comes to social media, via YouTube and Instagram and Twitter. The Haneys are upper echelons, right? But certain guys, they really can't fuck with, you know, when it comes to the social media. That's why they have to go and get help. Because they know when it comes to certain guys that they go at on social media, the crash dummies that they employ. Because one thing about Bill, he employs a lot of crash dummies on the YouTube and other social media platforms. But when they go up against certain people, the crash dummies narratives and crash dummy scenarios only going to go so far. So what does he do? He has to get the actual hitters to come to the aid of Team Haney. So now Teofimo Lopez, who has a big fight coming up Thursday in the Vegas Super Bowl week, right? He's all in the headlines. One thing about Teofimo Lopez, um, he knows how to get the media, social media, to talk. He knows how to do quote unquote controversial things to get the media to talk. So, with his fight bearing down with Jermaine Ortiz, T.O. has been in the headlines for speaking on Crawford and other things, but he recently has put out the fact that Devin Haney, the dream, yes, declined to fight him 3 times. And he put out some sort of proof, you know, saying that they had meetings set up that Devin never showed up to, that this fight, that instead of Jermaine Ortiz could have been Devin, right? And I think it might have a little bit of truth to it. It might have a little bit of truth. And the reason why I'm saying that it might have a little bit of truth is because anytime I see Bill, right? Because Bill is the mouthpiece for the Dream Team Haney. But anytime I see Bill have to go and get Eddie Hearns, or he has to go a different route instead of using, like I said, the many other crash dummies, the YouTube channels, right? That really serve no purpose other than pushing out false narratives, right? These guys to me are hilarious, right? They will tell you when it comes to Devin Haney that certain fighters are ducking him, or certain fighters are turning down XYZ type of money, and then you see that Devin didn't even fight for that type of money himself. And you're like, bro, how's this possible? You know, some of us be like that. But the majority that they brainwash and that don't really support boxing and go to fights and do these things, they just go with the BS. But the actual players in the game sit back and shake their head. They shake their head at some of this shit, right? But I think what Tiafimo is doing, right? He does what the Haneys do, but he does it at a frequency just like them or even better than them. That is why you seen Bill, right? Now, Bill is one of the best doing this too, right? But I think he kind of feels the pressure and the heat from Tio because Tio does it, like I said, I think Tio does it better than him, right? Now, when Tio did the shit with Bud Crawford, right? Calling out Bud and using Bud's name, right? Tio has stole a lot of the momentum and attention. What did Bill do? Bill jumped out there and said, knock it off and you know, you're not serious, right? But you guys do the same thing, Bill. You guys do the same thing. You just don't want nobody else hogging the attention, the spotlight. And Tio took that. And he has it right now with this coming out saying that you guys didn't want to fight. That and what did you do? When Tio did that, like I said, you tried to attempt to have your Crash Dummy YouTube channels do interception and run plays, but how far did that go? How far does that go? But see, a lot of those guys that you have, you know, running these plays, their audiences, like I said, don't really move the needle. A lot of these guys that you, I hope you don't employ them. Maybe you do. I don't know. I don't think so because they couple of them were begging for jobs, right? But these guys, their narratives don't really stretch that far. Because, like I said, the demographic or audience aren't true consumers, right? They're not true consumers, right? So it's really not hitting the ears of the consumers who you really want to garner. Because, like I said, a lot of these guys probably some of these guys that's on this YouTube and Twitter and Instagram that do all this boxing stuff don't even go to fights. If you ask them how many fights they want to in 2023, some of them say zero. But yet they talk boxing, they're posting, they're actively participating on the internet in it. At the end of the day, that is cool for the internet, but when it comes down to the actual sweet science, it does nothing. Hopefully, y'all caught that source. But I think that Tiafimo kind of got leverage right now as far as the internet and the buzz. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, yeah, because his fight is coming up, which he should. But he's also applying the pressure, getting his name in the mix as he should, right? Because I think a lot of the internet, talk is for Devin and Tank Davis, right? But when you think about it, Tio and Devin is also a marquee fight. It will be now a unification fight at 140. It will also be two former undisputed champions, two guys that have defeated Vasily Lomachenko. The history is there. It has a storyline with um, two fathers, right? And I also, the thing that I like, it has the social media build up. Because remember when Bill was running around Vegas and going to liquor stores looking for senior. Then I remember Bill, because I think real talk, right? Bill was at the Josh Taylor fight. He was at the weigh-in, and he was in NYC because I think Bill felt like Tio was going to get knocked off, right? Real talk. I felt the energy, right? That's why he was in New York. He felt like T.O. was going to get knocked off by Josh Taylor because T.O., remember, lost to George Gambosis. Now, Josh Taylor was the lineal former undisputed 140-pound champion. I think they thought that T.O. was going to get knocked off. But T.O., you know, beat Josh Taylor handily, right? Becoming now the WBO champion, thus making Devin make his move now. That's why Devin is the WBC super lightweight champion. Now, this fight, like I said, it has the build up, it has the background from them shouldn't have they should have fought at 135, which they never did, right? But now at 140, it's here. And I think T.O. kind of, threw some shit into the game, stating the fact that they could have fought. But remember, right, when they did have the talks, and I want to say this, right? Um, I'm gonna play some a video clip of Eddie Hearn saying that T.O. T.O. might have outpriced himself, right? But when you think about it, right, you have to set the bar high. Remember he asked for 20 million, 10 million, all this type of money, and he might not be worth it. That's why Bill tried to get Eddie Hearns to speak on it, right? But if you getting the money for Tank, right? 20 million, and T.O.'s asking for 20 or 10 million, whatever he was asking for. Why wouldn't T.O. ask for that if you guys are making it seem like you can get the money, that type of money for another fighter, in a Tank Davis, and Javante Tank Davis, right? Who lucrative wise, pay-per-view wise, garners that type of money, right? But when we talk about accolades as far as the resume with belts, right? Because belts do play a part. Don't let people say, oh, he doesn't sell, because that's what Eddie Hearns was trying to use. All right, he doesn't sell. The theater, they lied. They said him and Josh Taylor was a sellout. It was a sellout. The Josh Taylor fight was a sellout. Give me a second. All right, I'm back. My bad. I wanted to blow my nose, and I didn't want to do it on the live. So the Josh Taylor fight, listen, it was a sellout. It was in the theater, right? Um, it should have been in the big garden, right? It should have been in the big garden, but I think, uh, for other reasons, because you got to remember, T.O. fought the newly signed, shout out to him, Xander Martin, and the big Gotttem, and then they brought him to fight for a title in the same division in the theater. Now there was so much international media at this event, because Josh Taylor being a guy from across the pond, right? Wales, it is one of the, I think Wales, Scottish, but he brought the international flavor across, right? And it was standing room only in the theater. Um, it should have been in the big boy upstairs, but for whatever reasons, I think they was trying to humble To and teach To a lesson, and so it was in the theater. But To put on a great performance that night, dethroning the undisputed champion, the lineal champion, right? Because prior to To loss, Josh Taylor was undisputed. He vacated the rest of the belts via the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF. So now that To has taken down Josh Taylor, and Devin is the WBC champion. But like I said, that fight week, Bill Haney was in attendance. The videos are out there. Bill Haney, uh, you know, I get like I said, I felt like he felt To was going to lose to Josh Taylor, so he was there basically trying to, because this is around the time before Devin and made the plans to fight Regis. So Devin was still kind of a free agent, or he didn't have in the air what he was going to do. He was fresh off of the Lomachenko victory, right? And yeah, I'm telling you, Bill felt like To was going to lose, right? But unfortunately, To won, and he won in a nice fashion. But I remember Bill and Devin, not Bill, I mean Bill and Junior, who is senior, Teofimo's father, and they were talking, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll fight you, we'll fight you." And Junior, senior, that is To's father, we call him Junior, put a price out there. Now, the price that he said, Bill said, "Don't price yourself out, right? Don't price yourself out." Well, you got to think, right? With Teofimo Lopez, this father son duo is just like the Haneys. They always had a plan. They are, matter of fact, instead of talking about their plan, let's show you their plan because I have it here. I have their plan that they set out to accomplish and accomplish.
Yo, this is Jackal Fitness. I'm here with the victorious coach and the new. That's right, man. Yeah, just speak on it, man. You always talked about greatness with your son, man. World champion after how many fights?
I told everybody we're gonna get the title with 15 fights, but
Yes.
we told Mason Menard.
Yes.
And then we're gonna get Lomachenko with 16 fights.
Ooh. Yeah, he was in the building tonight, man. Yeah, we was in the stands, man. A lot of people said that after what they seen what he did to Comey, that Lomachenko might be a little nervous, man. What's your thoughts on that, man?
I don't care, man. We're gonna catch him, you know.
Yeah.
We're gonna catch him.
Talk on the pops.
He's gonna get popped.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna be able to freaking take that power.
Yeah.
Lomachenko's too small, man.
Yeah.
And come April, I'm gonna say the same thing.
Yo, just describe, man. You hear the noise in the background, man. You was a fighter coming up, DNA.
Now, see, that was the Lopez's plan. And if you look, and we fast forwarded to now, that was right after the Richard Comey victory. Since then, the Lopez's have gone on to become undisputed lightweight champion, now currently the WBO champion. Like I said, victories over Lomachenko, Richard Comey, and Josh Taylor along the way, right? But other things that they have picked up as well, big time endorsements, Bud Light sponsorships, the bag, right? So when you hear him ask for the type of money, because one thing about T.O., and that's what I like about T.O., um, he knows him, his father, they have a sense of what they want to do, where they are going, and their own vision, right? Now, a lot of times I am a vision type of guy myself. So when I hear people speak on their vision and what they feel they value or their worth, I like that because you have to have that. And a lot of times I think the Haneys have that too. So that's why when I hear Bill and he had to run to Eddie. I'm gonna play the video, right? He had to go get Eddie because, like I said, the YouTube crash dummies that he uses, they don't hold no merit in this conversation. They won't hold no merit, right? And the Lopez's have their vision, right? And they have been sticking to their square. Like I said, this is the proof right here, man.
Yo, this is Jackal Fitness. I'm here with the victorious coach and the new. That's right, man. Yeah, just speak on it, man. You always talked about greatness with your son, man. World champion after how many fights?
I told everybody we're gonna get the title with 15 fights when
Yes.
we told Mason Menard.
Yes.
And then we're gonna get Lomachenko with 16 fights.
Ooh. Yeah, he was in the building tonight, man. Yeah, we was in the stands, man. A lot of people said that after what they seen what he did to Comey, that Lomachenko might be a little nervous, man. What's your thoughts on that, man?
I don't care, man. We're gonna catch him, you know?
Yeah.
We're gonna catch him.
Talk on the pops.
He's gonna get popped.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna be able to freaking take that power.
Yeah.
It's too small, man.
Yeah.
And come April, I'm gonna say the same thing.
Yo, just describe, man. You hear the noise in the background, man. You was a fighter coming up, DNA.
Yeah, see, now they talked it into existence. Everything that they're doing now, they talked into existence. So when I hear them talk about $10 million for the fight and $20 million for the fight, I don't doubt that's what they want. I don't doubt they feel that's what they value. Because you see that video, that interview was old. That was after the Richard Comey fight, and they had the plans that they had then. That's playing out now. So, and look, that was before the Bud Light sponsor. That was before all these things that he's doing now. So when he asks for 10 and 20 million and they say, don't price yourself out. And I'm going to play some clips from Eddie Hearns. Because like I said, Bill had to go get help, real help. Like I said, the YouTube help that he gets is cool for the sewer, right? The YouTube. But now he's trying to get that industry help because Tio has momentum, right? And if you can garner the money for Tank to try to get Tank, right? Why can't you garner the money for Tio?
Teofimo Lopez is on another planet. Another planet. He talks so much shit. By the way, what a fighter. What an entertainer. Amazing for the
Do you
sport.
think a big part of it, though, is just his persona?
No, I think he's fucking completely deluded, and I think he's on another planet. I'm not mad about it. I don't hate the guy. I just listen to his interviews and think, you talk absolute shit. We crept over the line for a sellout at the theatre. He didn't sell out against Josh Taylor, who talks about the biggest gate in the history of the theatre. Complete rubbish. And by the way, it holds like 3,900. So you're capping about selling 3,800 tickets, and you're this megastar that should be getting 20 million.
Okay. Now, Eddie said that the megastar to get 20 million. The Hula Theater was packed that night. It was standing room only, right? Like I said, a lot of international media in attendance. But see, he's trying to use Eddie, and Eddie is trying to downplay what T.O.'s putting his market value at. But like I said, when you look at their accomplishments, right? both being undisputed at lightweight. Now both being champions at super lightweight, WBO and WBC. Now, Teofimo Lopez hasn't fought on pay per view yet. Devin has fought on pay per view twice. Teofimo Lopez, like I said, has beaten arguably two undisputed champions. Had not Josh Taylor um, vacated a couple of those titles, three of those titles, Teofimo Lopez would be a recognized two-time undisputed champion, but he did beat the lineal champion. So these are accomplishments that will garner somebody to have the vision or to have the type of, and I can't agree with you on this, Eddie, because like I said, the man has, like I like to say, stats, right? So if you have these stats, and that's what some fighters value their stats, other fighters don't, right? The Lopez's, from me covering them and knowing some of the people on takeover promotions, that's what they base their market value off of. The stats, the accomplishments, the accolades. And not to mention, like Eddie mentioned in this, Tio is an entertainer.
Teofimo Lopez is on another planet. Another planet. He talks so much shit. By the way, what a fighter. What an entertainer. Amazing for the
You
sport.
think a big part of it, though, is just his persona?
No, I think he's fucking completely deluded, and I think he's on another planet. I'm not mad about it. I don't hate the guy. I just listen to his interviews and think, you talk absolute shit. We crept over the line for a sellout at the theatre. He didn't sell out against Josh Taylor, who talks about the biggest gate in the history of the theatre. Complete rubbish. And by the way, it holds like 3,900. So you're capping about selling 3,800 tickets, and you're this megastar that should be getting 20 million.
Yo, but see, Eddie gave him his props and then tried to undervalue the fight because they don't want to pay. But he says that he's an entertainer, he's delusional, but he's an entertainer. Now, maybe you don't need to touch this fight then. Maybe you need the guy who's going to cut the check to touch this fight. Because if they're willing to give, like I said, Tank Davis garners this type of money for what? Because he sells pay-per-views and um and he sells out arenas. But a lot of those guys over there, and I want y'all to catch this because I'm gonna close, right? I'm gonna close. All of those guys that's over there, and this has been the word, right? They're overpaid over there, right? And I think that shows, right? Because when these same guys that you want to give Tank 20 million because the numbers that him and Ryan did, right? But prior to that, Tank was scratching the surface, right? He was selling out arenas, but the numbers wasn't there yet. He finally got the numbers with the Ryan fight. All of those guys over there that were garnering crazy type of attention and money really didn't have that value either. That's why you see their network bounced on them because their network was losing money. Now, these guys, both Devin and Tio, haven't done the numbers yet. Tio still has yet to do a pay-per-view. But I feel that if the fight and the right people market this fight, the money can be generated off of this fight. because both of these fighters have the accolades, accomplishments, and stats. You have two fathers who know how to talk. You have one fighter in particular who knows how to talk, as you just heard Eddie Hearn say, very entertaining, right? So if they was to put that type of money up and the right people talked about the fight instead of one trying to build it, the other trying to down it or devalue the other side, the fight can generate that type of money. But when you have people that don't actually know how to market or promote, what they know how to do is push slander, push lies and narratives, and devalue one fighter over the other. Now you see how I did this live, right? Um, and I did not say, "Oh, Devin doesn't sell, Devin doesn't do this," right? Because that is not going to help to market the fight. What helps to market the fight and promote the fight is what I did. I highlighted how both of them beat Lomachenko. Both of them are former undisputed champions. Both of them now are well, this will be a unification fight at 140, right? These are the things that you do when you are trying to build the fight. When you don't know what you're doing and you push lies or you push negativity on one fighter to try to build up the other fighter, you're not building the fight. What you are doing is devaluing the fight. See, Eddie Hearns is a promoter. Eddie Hearns doesn't want to pay that type of money, but he knows that the Lopez's know their worth and are shooting for the stars. The proof is right here in the pudding.
Teofimo Lopez is on another planet. Another planet. He talks so much shit. By the way, what a fighter. What an entertainer. Amazing for the
You
sport.
think a big part of it, though, is just his persona?
No, I think he's fucking completely deluded, and I think he's on another planet. I'm not mad about it. I don't hate the guy. I just listen to his interviews and think, you talk absolute shit. We crept over the line for a sellout at the theatre. He didn't sell out against Josh Taylor, who talks about the biggest gate in the history of the theatre. Complete rubbish. And by the way, it holds like 3,900. So you're capping about selling 3,800 tickets, and you're this megastar that should be getting 20 million.
Yo, this is Jackal Fitness. I'm here with the victorious coach and the new. That's right, man. Yo, just speak on it, man. You always talked about greatness with your son, man. World champion after how many fights?
I tell everybody we're gonna get the title with 15 fights when
Yes.
we call Mason Menard.
Yes.
And then we're gonna get Lomachenko with 16 fights.
Ooh. Yeah, he was in the building tonight, man. Yeah, we was in the stands, man. A lot of people said that after what they seen what he did to Comey, that Lomachenko might be a little nervous, man. What's your thoughts on that, man?
I don't care, man. We're gonna catch him, you know?
Yeah.
We're gonna catch him.
Talk on the pops.
He's gonna get popped. He
Yeah.
ain't gonna be able to freaking take that power.
Yeah.
It's too small, man.
Yeah.
And come April, I'm gonna say the same thing.
Yo, just describe, man. You hear the noise in the background, man. You was a fighter coming up, you know, DNA.
Now, that was their vision. Eddie Hearn said they was capping. Was Junior, Senior, that's who I call Senior, that's what we call Senior, Junior, right? T.O. Senior, Junior. Was he capping right there? They went on to do that. They went on to do what he talked about. Now they are the super lightweight champion. But were they capping? Were they capping? No, they had a vision. They had their marching orders, which they set out to do and they accomplished. So when they set their bar at a price, like I said, now they are with Bud Light. They have a major sponsorship endorsement. Granted, Eddie Hearn said they did not sell out the theater, but I was there. The theater was packed. A lot of international media was there. Um, you want to give Tank Davis 20 million for what? Pay-per-view sales of one fighter, Ryan Garcia. But after that, what has Tank actually done? Tank is with a flagship company that can't even put out a schedule right now. See, a lot of stuff that was going on over there with the PBC and Showtime was smoke and mirrors. A lot of those fighters over there were fluff. Fluff. Not as fighters, but just fluff as how they were being marketed and for the public to believe that they were bigger than what they were. And now you have a whole stable of fighters that can't even get scheduled for fights because they did not have the accomplishments and accolades that both Devin and Teofimo Lopez have already. So if this fight is marketed right and talked about right, I believe they can generate that type of money. You have Bud Light with Teofimo Lopez. Bud Light is in the business of promoting their brand and their product. So they will definitely be behind this. Also, from what I'm hearing, Teofimo also has something going on with Disney World, Walt Disney as well. He said, I picked Tio to beat Lomo. People underestimate him before the Lomo fight. Great fighter, yes. Him and Devin Haney will be a big fight. But the thing with Bill and Devin, if they could make this fight, what they're trying to do now and devalue Teofimo's brand and his name, that's not the move. That's not the move. But that's what they do, the Haneys, right? And I don't they get these internet crash out dudes that devalue the fight and then they push lies. Like how they did with Shakur, right? That one could have been a big fight. I think now it's even a bigger fight. But until they start to learn how to incorporate the right people on social media to speak on the fight, they gotta chill with that because they get people on social media to crash out, and their narratives are so far fetched and bogus, right? Like they said $8 million, then $5 million, which Shakur was being offered. That's what they were saying, some of these guys, right? But yet Devin goes and fights Regis Progress, and they both make 1.5 million. That's $3 million. $3 million, but yeah, he was going to give Shakur 8, and he also received a $5 million offer. But yeah, Devin went on to fight another guy, and they made a combined guaranteed of 3 million. See, this is the shit that I be talking about. You kill the value of the fight by pushing falsehoods and lies. But listen, I have a long day ahead of me. I just want to come on and bang out a quick live on this. Because like I said, most likely today we have another storm on the horizon. And you know how the Call of Duty plays at the municipal front. They will definitely stretch this out. So I won't be doing the lives that I have been giving you tonight, maybe tomorrow. But definitely Sunday. Sunday I will definitely be back on. I'll probably go to the spot on Sunday. Um, but I do got some shorts that I will be dropping throughout the day. A lot of basketball shorts. You know, I didn't do some basketball ones. I got the Coach Ream TikTok video out right now. Check it out with some fire frames. I'll probably drop a couple more of those throughout the day. Um, and we're gonna keep giving you the news by Shanewz, right? Shout out to the UK, Toby in the building. We are getting great reviews from the new content, right? 'Cause I told you guys, 2024, I was going to step it up as far as the structure and the overall delivery of speaking on fights and speaking on boxing. Um, because I just feel like my brand now and the work that I have put in on the media level speaks for itself. So when I come on here and I talk on boxing, I just separation now. It's all about separation. A lot of guys in the YTC is filled with numerous fans that talk boxing. But I just feel like when it comes to the news by Shanewz, we speak on boxing and more importantly, we show it. We actually show it because we cover fights. We've been covering fights. We go to fights. We've been going to fights, and we are a part of a fight team. The news by Shanewz. This is the Source Experience. But hey, what do I know? You do have options. You do have options.
The one and only Boxing Guru, aka Wild Man. I'm here with the Sauce Talk Boxing Podcast.
Thank you, Chip. Thank you. You know the vibes.
Yo, you know who it is. It's Chop Chop Corley, one and only. I'm a Hall of Fame legend right here. I'm here with the sauce, y'all. We gonna chop it up real soon. Back in the kitchen with Chop Chop Kitchen.
Yeah.
Y'all want to shout out to my man Shot right here. The only one to do it, the realest one in the whole game, all right? Just want y'all to know, this is E Cruz, aka Captain Chaos. You know how I rep, keeping it real. I follow it real, because I am a true boxing fan. If you are a true boxing fan, follow my man, Shanewz, to the fullest. All right.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to the Source Talk Podcast. You already know the vibes. Jack and Fitness. This is Andrew in the Stewart Hotel Boxing Life. Let's go.
Woo.
You keep talking, man. And you shut the fuck up.
Teofimo Lopez.
This is the Source Experience. The news by Shanewz. But what do I know?
Hey guys, this is Tiana Tuilahiloa. I'm a top-ranked knockout, and I want to give a shout out to Sauce Talk Podcast.
Thank you. You know the vibes.